What is going on, guys? This is All Gaming with my review of No Game, No Life episode 12, and I am definitely sad to see this anime go. It was definitely one of my top animes this season, and I definitely don't want it to be gone. I'm going to miss this anime so freaking much, and it's just sad that it's gone because the anime, it is definitely one that I felt like it did not disappoint. Now, I will say that there were times where the episodes, they weren't as hyped as the previous episodes, but it does not mean those were bad. So overall, the series, I definitely loved it a lot. Every single episode, it was freaking fantastic. And like I said, I'm still going to miss it. Now, I do hope, at some point we get a season 2 or even a couple OVAs. I'll be fine with that. I just wish this right here, could have been more than like 12 episodes, because obviously we did not see as much as we could have, because obviously this right here is still kind of like in the beginning of the story, because their main goal here was to beat Teat, and they are nowhere near, being able to challenge him right now. So there's definitely potential for the series to come back, and I do hope that it will. But the episode itself, it picks off from last week, where we have Izana. She goes into this new mode or transformation of hers, and we actually learn that it's called blood destruction, and that right there, it makes the werebeast, bypass any physical limit. And we see now that when she does use this, she's definitely on some hacks level, because we saw at one point it seems like everything has slowed down except for her, and it allowed her to move at such a great speed. She was easily able to dodge all of their bullets, and not only that, we saw how powerful her movements were, as she was able to shatter glass rather easily. So it goes to show you that the werebeasts, they definitely had this ace in the hole, because Blank here, Sora and Shiro, they had no counter for this. And especially when they got shot, I thought for the first time Blank actually lost, because that right there really surprised me. But it seems that Izana, she had dropped her guard at the wrong time, because we saw that she had reverted back. And I thought that this blood destruction, especially from that name, I thought that it might have had some kind of handicap. And we saw that she was definitely tired, and it seemed that she was in some kind of pain at least. But when she had dropped her guard, that right there allowed Steph to actually get the victory. And I like that, because like I said, I felt that in last week Steph's character was made a joke, and she had more potential than that. And so right there, when she actually got them the victory, that right there just redeemed her character a lot, and I like that. So eventually the whole plan is, Sora had used a pledge before the game to make Steph follow any order that she got, but immediately she'll forget about that. And we see now that when Shiro had wrote down a plan on the ground, Steph had to follow that, but of course she forgot that. And so what the plan was for that Steph to be carried by an NPC, because they can all be calculated and predicted about where they'll be. And as soon as Steph's willpower was about to run out, all she had to do was just shoot straight, and that right there would hit Izana, because that would obviously because from the calculations they would knew what to have her be, and that right there was just freaking perfect. And so now that they won, we see now that they of course got the land back. But because of the werebeasts lost it, they took out as much as they could. So basically they should left them with this dead barren land, because they took all the supplies, the resources. They pretty much left this land with nothing. And we get this funny bath scene where we have Izana and Shiro, they're taking a bath together, and apparently Izana hate baths, and now we have Jibiri with that freaking shampoo again. But now we have Sora and Ino. He was there with that little ass cloth. That right there was disturbing. But we had those two, standing together, hiding behind this thing, so that way they can't see the girls. But then we have Steph coming in there, and she tripped, and we just hear Sora's phone going off, because he takes all these pictures of her, and when she hit her face, she's the one that had let them know about what the werebeast did with the land. But Sora was already predicting that. And to make it even worse for them, we actually have, a surprise guest here, and it's the Shrine Priestess, because somehow she was there, and she was also taking a bath. And so now we actually go to her shrine, and I'm not gonna lie, her shrine, it actually looks pretty freaking awesome. But now we see that this priestess, she actually walked in there for a reason, because she had wanted to get revenge immediately. Because to her, she thinks that the sword has exposed the secrets to the humans. I believe no, it was three races that she was like worried about. It was the elves, the Alpha I forgot their name. Hold on, because I do have their wiki page, because I definitely did not want to forget it. But I definitely know that one race was the elves. The other was like the little spaceship that we saw that was flying around the human kingdom a few episodes ago. Like right now I can't find their name, but I'm pretty sure you guys know who I'm talking about. But anyway, the Shrine Priestess had immediately, want to get revenge, and she was like ready to kill them. I'm pretty sure that if killing was allowed, then Sora and Shiro definitely would have been dead. But of course, that right there can happen. So they had no choice but to settle this dispute in the game. But the thing is that Sora and Shiro, they were like so tired, especially after that game with Izana, that they only had to settle for a coin toss. And now we see that when they do play, immediately we have the Shrine Priestess actually going to her own blood destruction, so that way she can determine if the coin would be heads or tails. And so if Sora did not do what he did, then it definitely would have been tails. But because he made the end a draw, we now have both sides getting what they want. So even though the humans, they are now absorbing in the Werebeast race, the Werebeast can still keep all their resources and supplies and everything, because they are actually going to work together with the humans. And so that right there was like pretty slick. But of course they caught it, but it actually wasn't on ground of cheating, because they actually both win. So that right there was like definitely nice of Sora. But the real reason why he does not want to destroy the Werebeast kingdom is because he does not want to destroy his animal girl paradise. And that scene right there, it was like definitely hilarious. But now we go to, after that, we have all our characters here together, except for Kurumi and Fi, because we actually see that, that Fi memories, they were actually altered. So she was like giving all this false information to her race, because obviously these elves here, they would like definitely want payback on the Werebeast, because the Werebeast actually, beat them. So obviously they want payback against them. But now they have all this like false information. Even when they do challenge humanity and the Werebeast, they are actually going to lose. So Sora right here is definitely smart, because he thought so far in advance, and I love that. And so now we have all our characters together, and we see now they're like looking out at the horizon. And so eventually they actually bring up Pledge 10, where the actual rule is, to like let's all let's all play together and have fun. And that right there can actually be interpreted a different way, because originally the Shrine Priestess here, she thought that the Sora and Shiro, they were gonna take all of the race pieces, so that way they could challenge Teeth. But in reality, all they have to do is just gather every race together, and that right there will allow them to challenge Teeth. And I am glad that they are doing it that way, rather than going in there beating everybody for their race piece. It actually allows them to not worry about that, because the only reason why he first bet the race piece, it was because obviously he definitely needed the Werebeast to to first play the game. And by putting something as big as that on the table as a bet, there is no way they would turn that down. So that's why. But him and Shiro both said that they are not going to challenge for race pieces again. And it does make a lot of sense, because that right there it's just too big of something to bet. So it makes sense why they would not put it up again. And so now we actually go into the end credits here, and we see now that Kurumi and Fi, they are actually going to go off on their own little journey, because now we have Kurumi, she working for humanity, and of course she wants to challenge people and play games with them, but she feels like she won't lose. So Sora and Shiro they definitely changed her, and they definitely helped her character. And even though I wish that she would stay around, I definitely know that she will come back because she does trust Shiro and Sora, and she does believe in them, especially in Sora. She really had like a lot of faith in him. But we see now that that something is like definitely up here, and so eventually we have Sora and Shiro. They're like asking the Shrine Priestess if she had like a certain something, and at first I didn't know what the heck it was, and then out of nowhere we just see all this like magical power, and eventually we see the Priestess. She shoots this magical power into the air, and actually into space actually, and we see like this portal opening, and eventually it's like she's kind of like possessed. And now we see that not only is she a werebeast, but she's also part of the first Exceed race, which is the old Deus, and that right there was like freaking amazing. But of course, Sora and Shiro, they're not wasting any time, and they actually challenged it to a game, and I so wish we could have saw that. That is why I'm so hoping that this series will get a season 2. But overall, I'm going to give No Game No Life a 10 out of 10. I'm not saying that it's perfect or it's a masterpiece, but I love this series so freaking much, and to me, it definitely deserves that. But of course, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this, because this right here was actually a pretty good way to end the series off, and I just hope that we get more in the future. But as always, please do not forget to like the video and subscribe, because that really helps me out. And you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.